Being in the midst of nowhere, finding something weird and unexpected can be really disturbing. The individuals in this video had to deal with a sense of mystery surrounding seemingly random objects in seemingly random locations. In this video, we will be talking about the strangest thing found in the middle of nowhere. But before that, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for more amazing content. Now let's start. Number 6. Richard III found. So where do you think Richard III, monarch of England, will be located centuries from now? In the countryside of England? Maybe a tomb in the Abbey Cemetery? Nope, in a lot in Leicester. The War of Bosworth Field in 1485 saw the death of Richard III, the last English king to perish in battle. His remains are therefore highly significant historically. Legal documents that have survived indicate that he was brought to Leicester, providing them with a place to start. When historian Philippa Langley and the Richard III Society started an archaeological survey on a parking lot that seemed to be the most likely location in 2012, the ruins were still missing. Philippa Langley is credited with saying, "The oddest feeling just washed over me the first time I stood in that parking lot. I realized that I was positioned atop Richard's grave." A whole skeleton with wounds that matched was discovered along with church foundations. All because of a hunch, Richards eventually verified through DNA matching to be Richard III. Number 5. Mysterious desert structures. A number of new explorers have emerged since the introduction of Google Maps. Internet explorers. These people searched Google Maps for enigmatic buildings, unusual landmarks, and other bizarre things. And boy, did they discover any. They discovered a wide variety of items, including many strange constructions deep inside China's Gobi Desert. Some depict blatant infrastructure, while others are foreign in their unusual shapes. One in particular that caught my attention was a zigzag pattern engraved into the rocky terrain. Strangely, despite the terrain's curvature, its lines were straight. However, they baffled conspiracy theorists for years and their theories, which mainly revolved around aliens and hidden facilities. Recently, many of these were discovered to be calibration stations for Chinese espionage satellites. To calibrate their equipment, satellites would scan the locations. Number 4. The Atlantic Ocean Structure. Fort Boyard is the name of this quite odd castle in the Atlantic Ocean. More than 200 years prior to the renowned TV show, this was its original name. It resembles a stone ship that is oddly anchored off the west coast of France and was built with long-range cannons to protect Rocheford's harbor. It was exceedingly difficult to construct this large building, which is 68 meters long, 31 meters broad, and 20 meters high. Since construction was begun by Napoleon at the end of the 17th century, it ultimately proved to be a military failure. Fort Boyard wasn't built until 1841, by which time the port's defenses had stiffened and the neighboring cannons' range had considerably improved. However, it has always been an engineering marvel and an oddity in architecture, and in the 1990s, it served as the backdrop for a number of movies and television programs, including the dangerous adventure game show Fort Boyard, where competitors competed to win prizes. Number 3. Massive Bosnian spheres. Natural spheres have always been the subject of discussion since they are difficult to create using simple human tools. Nothing more than this notably large spherical, which a man by chance discovered in a Bosnian woodland. This massive stone is between 2 and 3 meters broad and weighs more than 30 tons, which is a lot for any stone, let alone a spherical one. The mystery is heightened by its random placement in the woods. The stone plainly has a red metallic appearance, indicating that it contains a lot of iron. Sam Osmanagek, an archaeologist who had been studying the archaic stone sphere phenomenon for 15 years, thought it might be a sign of highly developed ancient civilizations. It's an intriguing theory, but other experts on the subject have questioned the archaeologists to the point of mockery, claiming that the idea of an ancient civilization producing the stone was preposterous. Instead, they propose concretion, which is perhaps no less remarkable than the formation of rock from the secretions of mineral cement within sediments. The famous Kotu stones in New Zealand and other spherical boulders are frequently produced by this procedure. However, there are intriguing examples of spherical stones that have been manually chipped by an ancient civilization, such as the stones from Costa Rica between 501 and 500 BC. Geoglyphs and other inscriptions are found on these stones. Number 2. Copper mask found in the ravine. The individual who discovered this mask was looking for fossils outside in a Minnesotan ravine after significant rain. The intense rain had caused sediment to shift, exposing fossils and another object that was staring out directly at him. The man peered into the muck as he noticed a strange green mask with a coppery tone that seemed to have been sent from a bygone era. The mask's mystery increased when the curator of a science museum stated that the malachite deposits and extensive weathering could be signs of its extreme age. Analysis of the mask, which had been questioned as to whether it would be a death mask for a burial, showed that it was made of metal with a relatively recent composition of 98% copper, 12% silicon, and 7% manganese, suggesting that it may not be as old as previously believed. In the end, it was thoroughly examined by the curator from the Science Museum of Minnesota, who found that it was actually a modern item from as recently as the 1960s. Probably metalworking or artistic endeavor. Well, while it lasted, it was interesting. Number 1. Sailing stones. Therefore, visualize yourself in a desert. There are only a few stones following you in their tracks rather than any animal prints or footsteps. But wait, there are no traces on the stones. Even though they appear to have gently slid down a slope, sailing stones actually move. However, there is no slope, just a flat desert area. Thus, the equation doesn't work. Furthermore, the stones don't suddenly sprout legs and scamper across the desert while you aren't looking. What on earth is going on here then? After being discovered in Death Valley in 1915, these rocks soon attracted the attention of geologists all around the world. There have been numerous ideas put forth to explain how these stones moved across distances of more than 100 meters, presumably without the aid of any outside power. Actually, the longest tracks are a startling 809 feet long. Geologists had a difficult time explaining this. Some highly complicated explanations claimed that the stones traveled their distance over a period of centuries. The majority recognized the importance of breezes and moisture, although some stones may weigh up to 300 kilograms. Then it was found that these stones moved a lot of meters over long distances quite quickly. Let's get right to it. According to the ice raft theory, the rocks are bulldozed or floated when ice sheets that build on the plain during the winter start to break away on sunny days. Some rocks could move 2 to 6 meters per minute when the wind blows. That is quite swift for a pebble. The term sailing stones derives from this. That's it, guys. The most surprising events always appear to occur in the most remote locations. Maybe that contributes to how bizarre everything is. There are areas that have been abandoned all around the world. Some have a rich history, while others are picturesque. These places are left behind, forgotten, and abandoned as times and people change. Things frequently get left behind when these sites are neglected. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Leave a like, share with your friends and families, and jot down your thoughts in the comment section below.